welcome to the third day of 3-day workshop on bank audit series. May now request SIRC Vice Chairperson CA Day3 along with the Regional Council member CA Arun sir to come and occupy the dais, please. Our speaker for today is CA YogeshKarthick. He is already on the dais. We will start today's proceedings with the invocation of ICA Motto song. Let us all rise for ICA Motto.
Yeshasukteषु jagrati Yeshasukteषु jagrati Kamam 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 Pusho nirvimanaha Tadeva shukram brahma Tasmin lokah Sarve tadunatyam Etadvaita
Thank you. Please be seated. Those who are seated on the back can come and occupy the front rows, please. May I now request SIRC Vice Chairperson CA Day3 to formally introduce YogeshKarthick.
I don't know.
Good evening, everyone. My colleague in the Regional Council, Arun, and the young speaker of the day, YogeshKarthick, who's come here to share his knowledge on IS Audit. He seems to have a lot of experience in it also. So we had some queries regarding the materials for the past 3 days programs. Whatever has been obtained, we have uploaded it on the website. It will also be shared with everyone by email as requested. In case you have, you're not able to get the email or you're not able to access it on the website, please feel free to reach out to us. We will definitely share the material with you. And also there was some request for some workshops on information technology, artificial intelligence. We are planning all those programs, and we will definitely be taking your inputs seriously, and we will be doing it.
Also, Western India Regional Council has conducted recently conclave on audit. These are recent topics relevant to our profession. Same.
Yeah, we will be replicating and doing a lot of either replicating, or we will also be doing some other topics of our own also on the same, because ultimately it is only updating our knowledge and sharing our knowledge with everyone. And we have a lot of speakers like Yogesh also who are willing to actually come and share their knowledge and experience with us. And being the season of bank audit, we have covered the major areas for the past 2 days, and today IS audit, it's one of the most important aspects of any audit nowadays. AI, IS audit, and other data mining techniques. I think data mining techniques are something which we all will actually be implementing day to day in all our assignments nowadays, because everything is computerized. So I'll just do a quick introduction of YogeshKarthick. He is a partner in PS Murthy Associates for the past 7 years, and before that he was handling the system audit assignments as part of the IT risk assurance team of ENY Chennai, and he is most appreciable is he was the top scorer in Tamil Nadu in the CISA examination with 600 out of 800 in the year 2012. And before his exposure to systems audit, he was part of the indirect taxation team at ENY, handling various assignments for around 3 years. So when exactly did you complete? 2015 was when he has completed. not 10 years also has not passed, but he's accumulated a lot of experience. So he's performed the ICFR and IT General Control review for technology companies and performed the SQC1 reviews for the IT sector companies handling mortgage accounting and healthcare operations of US companies, and performed the IT General Control reviews and specific business application controls review in the SAP environment in an automotive manufacturer company. He's handled the concurrent audits and bank branch audits for the past 7 years. And he has in indirect tax pan-India VAT compliance for operations of 10 plus states for an MNC finance company, and he's done an application study for turnkey projects and export benefit optimization consultancy for export companies. He's a qualified CA, a top scorer in the CISA examination conducted by ISACA, and he's also done the certificate course on concurrent audit of banks and the FAFD course conducted by ICAI. So thank you very much, Yogesh, for actually generously offering to take this session for us. Let it be an interactive session. Everyone can come forward. I'm sure that Yogesh will be able to handle whatever questions are thrown at him. Thank you. Over.
Thank you, ma'am. Before I hand over the podium to sir, may I request Ayampalem Immigration Arun sir to present YogeshKarthick with a shawl. Revati S. Raghunathan to present him with the health bouquet and a memento, please. To add up to what Revati ma'am has said, we have uploaded all the materials being shared by our resource persons. You please do visit www.sirc-ica.org. Under Programs tab, Program Materials, all the materials shared by the resource persons are uploaded till date. And all the videos are being recorded. You do visit SIRC YouTube channel, SIRC of ICA, and get benefited. Over to YogeshKarthick.
So all these programs will be uploaded on YouTube. So if you go there, the entire session will be available for you. So if you have any doubts, you can also go back to the YouTube sessions and access the same.
Good evening to one and all. It's nice to have an occasion to come back to the Institute after a long time. I think after COVID, this is one of the first programs I'm doing. I haven't got around much to doing any kind of seminars earlier. Thank you for the opportunity to Revati ma'am, Arun sir, and everybody else who's invited me with open arms to take this lecture on most awaited topic here around bank audits. Within bank audits, I think most hated or boring topic is IS audit. I think my syllabus, we had something to do with IS audits. 2015, up to that time, CA final had one paper. I think quite recently, Institute has removed whatever that IT portion of it was there from the syllabus and moved it to post-graduation or some other form you have to learn. So, with all of this in picture, why should we attend this lecture first? This topic IS audit. Every year you are getting bank audits, every year there is somebody talking on IS audits or the other. So why should we attend this lecture? Anybody, any questions? Questions meaning I want expectations. What expectation do we have from this seminar? Anybody, sir? It's 2 hours we are at. Yes,
recent developments, new languages, or new set of IS activities.
Okay, sir is asking about updates from last year. What has happened this year? What are the newer techniques or what are the newer laws, regulations from since we are talking about bank audits? What is the recent RBI notifications on system related matter? What are the recent developments within the banks on system related matters? So that is one general expectation. Any other expectation? One more expectation I think I can.
Leverage the CBS.
Sir, can you repeat?
To leverage the features in the core banking.
Super, sir. So sir is saying how to leverage CBS. So what is CBS? How to leverage CBS? CBS will come to it. I will spend the first portion of discussion on the IS audit aspect alone. The second portion, which will be the bulkier portion, we will spend more time on CBS related matters, how loans, accounts, parameters within the loans, say your sanction limit or review renewal date, your drawing power marking, all of those matters, how it works within the CBS, and how we are going to review as auditors. So, how many of you have your branch audit coming up, sir? Statutory branch audit, super. Number of auditors are there, so I think they will be most active in their questions hopefully today. We'll take up more questions on that also in the second part. So, first question on why IS audit, the general discussion I heard, sir, most of the gentlemen here are quite known to us. They are learned elderly seniors to me, and some of them are asking, every year is the same issues only. So what is new about this year? So the problem with technology, sir, it never stops changing. Any technology for that matter, right from the time your CBS were introduced or when computer is invented, to generalize, there are so many changes happening every second, every minute. Someone is doing some change in some part of the world. Just that we have not seen the impact of that particular change in our industry, in our clients, in our neighborhood. But changes are already happening. We've already heard so many talk on AI, blockchain, so many things. Of course, some of them I would still say they are sort of buzzwords, because the technology is not yet reliable, proven to be taken to general public at large. It may be useful for somebody, say a Facebook or an Instagram or some other of these bigger corporations will be interested in mining all that data available, using AI tools for doing their own validation and other matters. But we are working in one of the regulated industries, one of the most regulated industries in the world. Banking is one of the most regulated industries as far as India is concerned also. There are so many laws, so many regulatory matters to be looked into, so many technology matters also to be looked into in banks. So when you look at a technology industry like your AI is being implemented in so much in your other end of the spectrum, and you're looking at a conservative industry like bank, how do we merge is the question. But the point actually to be understood is, it is definitely going to merge. Someday or the other, banks are going to be as agile, as technologically fueled as these bigger corporations. It is only a matter of time. Once this technology becomes tested and it is evaluated and it is finally said, okay, it's going to give you one answer only, your answer is always going to be correct. Until that point in time, the pace of change is going to be slow. So I think today the cause of lateness of most people might have been this flyover change issue. People are coming into Nungampakam after a long time. We don't know that from Gemini flyover you can't come directly to our CA Institute. Does Google Map know that? Yes, no, anybody? Google Map doesn't know that. I used the same instructions, I went around. That's why it's a little late. Google Map does not know that. So that brings us to the question of, how does Google Map give you this particular route itself? So Google is a technology corporation, it's one of the biggest in the world, it has huge market capitalization, all of that. But how does, so I live in Koturpuram, so from Koturpuram to Nungampakam, this Google Map is showing me 2 or 3 specific routes with timelines. Expected time of arrival, so many minutes to CA Institute. How does this actually happen? So to move to other pressing issues, I will quickly summarize that matter. So as it is, Google Maps, they started out with maps, simple, the city and metropolitan maps they started with. That was their base framework. From the regulatory agency, they got the map of that particular region. Then what they did, they got some access to satellites. So satellites are giving them images from the app. And then what is the other most important input? It is not satellite, it is not any other matter, it is not people driving around also. It is you as a user of Google, you are giving inputs to the Google Maps. By carrying your phone, switching on your location and integrating your Google account, you are giving information how much time it takes to move. So Google just pulls up all the list of users who are giving the signal in Nungambakam area. In this road, how many mobile phone signals are moving across this particular area? And how long did it take for these people to move? So with all general data attributes, they put it into an algorithm. The output is from Kotruppuram to Nungambakam, you will be there in 20 minutes. But the problem is they don't know it is not a one-way. So this is one problem that Google or AI has not been able to fix till now. Probably the direct solution is someone should mark it as one way. Some user feedback we give, they will automatically change the algorithm, say it is one way, because the update is given by the Chennai Corporation that this will be one way for so and so period. So this is the crux of the matter, sir, ultimately. So AI or technology, it will be very, very good. The design will be superb. The first time when someone sits down and implements anything, it will be amazing, sir. But the problem is, day-to-day basis, there will be some issue. Even your clients will come back and tell you. So everything is computerized billing only, sir. But that day power was not there. I had to issue manual invoice. E-invoice we have not been able to issue to your customer. So these kind of practical challenges will always be there. The essence that I am trying to push to you is, just because you have a superb technology design to handle all your accounting matters, your other matters, does not mean you will get the correct answer all the time. This basic truth everybody should understand and acknowledge before we move forward in this session. As to why they were giving the incorrect output, we will discuss that in subsequent slides. So this matter generally already covered, sir. So I used to start with this quote: wealth of information creates a poverty of attention. I think with today's bank auditors, this is the biggest problem. Once you go into the branch, your branch manager is going to meet you. Ideally, they should prepare all the reports to be signed off. I think some of the public sector banks still rely on hard copy. So 3-4 copies, some 20-30 reports will be there. With index, without index, some will be there, some will not be there. So that reports itself is a huge chunk of information you are asked to sign off on. Day one, you are receiving some 20, not even 20, for around 40 reports you receive. Right from the closing returns that they prepare, balance sheet, P&L, your loan related annexures, security related annexures, your NPA related annexures, and your priority sector related classification for advances. All of that they are furnishing you first day itself. And they are going to furnish another some certificate some banks will ask you to issue. Some loan related interest claim circular related certificate. So many matters they are giving you. So with all of this information, you are asked to validate. First thing you need to verify what is given to you. Practically for verification of this particular hard copy documentation, it is impossible to do in a scientific way properly, sir. Your loan file, whatever they are giving you, probably printout will be 500 pages. I am saying smaller branch with limited number of accounts, around 500 pages will be there. And there will be n number of attributes for each loan. How to audit this information? So first point I would say is, if you are taking up any branch audit, you have one Excel guy with you and somehow get access to the loan file that is available with the branch. Every branch will have one loan file, one master population file, which has, let us say the branch has some 250 crores or 200 crores of advances. Your balance sheet to be signed off is only going to say 250 crores, secured advance some 100 crores, unsecured 150 crores, so and so. NPA some 20 crores, 30 crores, some matters it is going to say in the balance sheet. These are all summarized information. None of this we are going to take up for verification. You cannot verify summary information without the breakup. So the breakup for this, you need to somehow get yourself that breakup of list of loans for the 250 crores.
In Excel format.
Ideally in Excel format. Excel you won't get, sir, but you can convert. Something you have to do to convert and get. So first, that is one relevant piece of information. That information has to be obtained and analyzed properly. So moving on, I am actually going a little further because of the time constraints. I am moving faster than my slides, I think. So general matter, as you know, there is a data explosion. Cost of data is very low. Everybody has smartphone. Everybody is going to generate data. Everybody is going to use social media. So everybody is going to use social media. All of this is a given. But from bank's point of view, the point is we have moved into a CBS form of software. So under a CBS form of software, there is going to be a lot of data being plugged into the CBS. So maybe I think seniors will know a little better, because by the time I came into the picture, CBS is very much well developed. But I heard from books and other papers that prior to having CBS, you used to have completely manual books. Manual books for each account, each detail that is available for the bank. They used to maintain manual books. And some point in time, they brought in some computerization for the account operation first, so that the account holder can transact using a system-based reports to maintain the, say for example, SB account or loan account. They will maintain the GL system within the branch. And sometime later, you started to get branch level. All the matters of the particular loans and accounts will be prepared in the branch itself using a software. So first level was branch level. Then after some point in time, it expanded to different branches being consolidated. And final outcome, right now any account holder, they are not bothered about which branch they are maintaining the account in. They can transact at any branch. Sometimes they don't need to go to branch also. Online transaction is always possible. They are going to use their internet banking for various transactions. Even obtaining loans, some of the private banks are allowing an online basis creation of loan accounts based on, of course, KYC and other prerequisites satisfied. So the point is, the movement of change is more and more automation is happening. When more and more automation and system-based approach is happening, the system becomes complicated. So first day you were using a small, let's say, small vehicle. Then after that you started using a bigger vehicle. Then now electronic vehicles are coming. Sophistication level is increasing. Like that, the CBS sophistication level also has increased step by step by step by step. Right now, more or less, I think for our audit purposes, almost 99% of the information that we want to certify is available only in the CBS. Whether they are keying it directly into CBS or it is actually keyed into a different system and then interface to the CBS is a different question. But ultimately all the parameters is coming into one single umbrella, which is the CBS. So before looking at the CBS, I want to go into some basic concepts of IS Audit so that we have a general understanding of what we are trying to achieve here. Of course, branch audit is the focus. I will come back to detailed branch audit in the later portion of this. So this we will have a small breakout where we will discuss this particular for 3 case studies I have. So before the case study itself, I want to introduce a few concepts to you. So IT general control, sir. So if I am saying same example I will take. From Koturpuram I want to come to Nungambakam. How do I make it to Nungambakam? First I need to take the Senate-off road, one road I have to take up to Mount Road. Then from Mount Road I need to go towards beach up to Gemini flyover. Then take left in the Nungambakam High Road, go further down 200-300 meters, then reach CA Institute. So there is a path that is there always. Like I have a path to reaching CA Institute, data also has a particular path it is going to progress to. So when I say data, any organization is going to have an internet connection, is a prerequisite. They have an internet connection, they have a node. Let us take it as a node. So node is nothing but a single computer, sir. Let us take my laptop is one node in the CA Institute's premises. I am having one computer here. So I want to receive information from my friend who is sitting somewhere in the US, let us say. How does it reach me? So first through the internet it has to reach the IP of CA Institute's particular thing. So that part of it will be covered under the firewall. This is just a sample I am telling you what is the path. So first the components that you are falling under are, first is the firewall to reach up to CA Institute. From within the CA Institute, then it has to reach my system specifically. There will be n number of systems in the CA institute. Everybody should not receive my message. It has to be received by me. So for that, next level is the network. Within the CA institute, how is the network configured? Then you have the server, the standalone system itself. And last thing I mentioned, some end user controls. So general point, there is a architecture available for various type of systems. If everything is available in my own system, then there is no problem. But you cannot have that kind of functioning. Usually what will happen, there will be a server, there will be a client system. The server system will do most of the processing, have most of the data, whereas your client system will only be a, what do you say, it is something like a front-end window. It will allow you to access the server, it will allow you to query the data from it, and it will allow you to do some computation, but it will not do any of the actual calculations on its own system. If I am having a user system, it is a client system, and the server is probably maybe located in the ICAI's IT lab. So the server system will have the computing capability. It will be able to do a lot of calculations. It will have access to the entire data also. Whereas as a client system, I will only open, say, a browser. Say I will open Google and ping that particular server, query that system for data, and do whatever activity I need to do and complete. This is what is happening in banks also. In banks, when you go into the branch, you are accessing only the client side. They will hit on your URL for the CBS. It will access the server. It will allow you to query data. So that is the first aspect. We have actually, once we go to the branch, we have bypassed all of these. This firewall matter is not there, this network matter is not there. You are only given directly, one browser is there. That is the client system, from where you can query data within the CBS and get data from it. These layers that we talked about, the network related matters, your OS related matters, the configuration matters, all of this, as a branch auditor, we have no idea. This is to be checked at the entity level. At the bank level, there is a consolidated information security audit to be done. And as a central statutory auditor, they will review the information system audit report, or they will also perform an independent IS audit report, and suitably they will take an audit strategy based on that. As a branch auditor, we do not come into the picture at all. The central stat auditor is relying on some information, some testing, some report. As a branch auditor, we are only required to get inputs from the central statutory auditor and the head office as to how this environment is functioning. We have to get maximum inputs as to how they have configured all of this, whether any of these matters will impact my day-to-day processing within the CBS. That is the ultimate impact we are trying to evaluate. So this first section, for your information point of view, I have added IT general controls, but as a branch statutory auditor, you are not going to look into any of this matter. Next is the applications for software controls. When I say application software, what is the software we are talking about, sir, in a bank audit?
E-audit.
Sir?
E-audit, what they provide to us.
E-audit. Okay. E-audit is where we are uploading the reports, no, sir? You're talking.
No. E-audit is where we are doing that for I'm talking about concurrent.
Concurrent audit. Okay.
Right, we use the e-ticket.
Okay. So I think since we have number of systems within the bank, I'll split it. CBS is the main data server we want to look at. There are other systems which allow you to automate certain things such as concurrent audit. Even some banks are having this statutory audit itself. The LFAR part of it, they have a separate module. Some banks have a separate module for the IRAC classification matter, income recognition and prudential norms. So that classification and income recognition matters, that itself they have a separate module also. So all of these are various modules within the system. Any software that is being used within the bank is an application software in general. But we are concerned mainly with CBS because that is the mother of all the data. It has everything that we need to verify. So on that circumstance, what are the controls within the CBS? What is the control within the CBS, sir? Application control within the CBS. Can anybody?
We can only view it. As an auditor, we cannot make any input in that. We can just view the reports. That's all.
Right. Sir is saying as an auditor, you will be given one auditor view only access. So you will not be able to edit any of the data. So that is one type of control. So that type of control sir is talking about is access control. The main other aspect I wanted to touch on is this data validation controls. When I say data validation control, it means whatever input is being entered into various CBS screens, whether it is appropriate for that screen or not, and whether that is authorized input or not. When I say appropriate, for example, drawing power for a account with a CCOD account with a sanction limit of say 1 lakh. You cannot set it at 999. Some default value as drawing power cannot be set. That is a data validation control. So anybody hits an amount higher than the sanction limit, then the CBS should not allow that data entry itself. That is a type of data validation control. So like those data validation controls, there are other controls. Say for example, most of the banks today are having a separate loan origination software. So CBS comes into the picture only after account is created, sir. Only after your loan account is created, CBS comes into the picture. What happens to the sanction related matters? There is a proposal received, there is some appraisal of that particular proposal, then there is a branch authority passes on to sanctioning authority asking their approval. Sanctioning authority makes an approval saying you can go ahead and sanction this loan. So these processes, it is not captured directly in CBS. But of late, I think a number of banks, they have moved to a system of loan origination system, where right from the time they receive the first proposal from the client itself, they will create a client ID there and say that this proposal has been received. Next, it will show how it is being processed, who has processed this particular proposal, who is the sanctioning authority, appropriate sanctioning authority of this particular proposal, and whether that sanctioning authority has actually sanctioned it on that specific date will be available in that loan origination system. So once the sanction approval is clearly completed within the loan origination system, after that only the CBS comes into the picture. So there is a linkage. Loan origination system, separate software. CBS, it's another separate software. So from loan origination system, it has to move into the CBS system. At the same time, at all times, you should always have a sanction approval for entering into the CBS system. So this matter is it becomes a manual interface. So usually how banks do it, they will apply a LOS, some loan origination system reference number, control tracking number from the loan origination system that will be keyed into the CBS when new loan account is being created. So this kind of linkage they are doing.
Annual.
Yes,
Annual
exactly, sir. That's what I am trying to say without saying. Sir has picked it up. Basically, that is a manual part of it, because loan origination system automatically will not push your loan account into CBS. Somebody is taking the approval manually, and then with that reference number, they are manually keying in the entire set of data into the CBS. So that reference number is actually being done on a manual basis. That is the next item I wanted to explain. The interface and integration matters. There are different systems. Each system has its own purpose. But ultimately, for correct data to be showcased, for the integrity of data to be maintained, all these systems need to work in combination seamlessly. This in combination seamlessly, though I am using seamlessly, it is seldom seamlessly. There will be always some issue or the other when two systems are trying to communicate. Just like how two humans are trying to communicate, there are some communication problems. Systems also will have communication problems. So these three elements I wanted to explain. And of course, the last three, within that three, which attribute, this is the CIA triad, sir. I think everybody would have, most of you would have heard about this, CIA triad. Nothing but they are talking about three very, very important attributes of data. So, how to protect the confidentiality, the integrity, and the availability of the data is typically one of the objectives of IS Audit. So when you are doing the branch audit, which attribute we are trying to verify, sir? Are we looking at confidentiality, or are we looking at integrity of data, or are we looking at availability of data? Availability, integrity, and getting two answers. So first question, the confidentiality, classic example will be this, you can talk about unpublished stock market information. So you have heard about insider trading and all of that, no sir? So company is going into IPO or some other news is there. some insider uses this information to trade and make huge gains. Unpublished, price-sensitive information. So the protection of such kind of unpublished price-sensitive information could be an example for confidentiality for you. In a financial context, I am saying. Of course, there are data privacy context is there, HIPAA context is there, so many other contexts are there. For our financial understanding, insider trading, that is a outcome where confidentiality of certain very sensitive data is compromised. Next is your what is it? The integrity. So integrity is making sure that data is correct, data is accurate, which is actually our financial audit. When we say true and fair view, of course true and fair I am not trying to discount. We will say there is a mathematical matter we are looking into. The financial statements are completely mathematical matters, and whether those figures are correct is the question we are trying to answer. We are addressing integrity of data. So any threat to integrity could be somebody trying to maliciously change the data. So some customers, some banks, we've heard a lot of frauds happening. So what they do is they will issue an FD receipt to the customer, but never make that entry into the CBS. So customer will get FD receipt in hand, they will have it. They will take it thinking, okay, I have got the FD receipt, I will be entitled to interest and so and so. But the manager on the other hand may have siphoned that money itself, misappropriated that money, and CBS does not have any entry of this FD. That would be a classic case of integrity of data also getting affected.
Lean marketing.
Yes sir, lean marking will come next sir. FD itself I am saying they have not pushed into the CBS. So these are classic attributes I have discussed. With this 3 quick case studies we'll do, then we'll head to...
Before that, you
Yes.
said IT general control is not at all applicable for a bank branch audit.
No, I said it does not fully come into our...
What you said is will not do IT GC or...
So the point is that bank is a complete system, and lot of things are determined at the bank level, HO level. They have made so many considerations, so many matters, and ultimately as I was talking about various controls, application controls also they are having. So they will determine all those controls. They are doing the testing of all those controls, and actually the next slide talks about it. No, okay. Just one slide on detail. So it is not seen in isolation, sir. This IT general controls. This is a whole entire what do you say? It is an entire blanket of things that is covered within the entity controls, right from the quality of staff and all other matters. So IT general controls, why branch auditor need not or cannot do? The reason is your systems, your software, your CBS login, all of that has very limited rights. Even the branch manager has very limited rights over it. Sir?
The question they are asking, even for branch audit.
I'll address that questionnaire matter, sir. Questionnaire, they are not asking about all the IT general controls. They are speaking about certain specific matters. I think you are talking about the IRAC related matter, I think you are asking me about. So that I will come to. IRAC related for our particular branch, whether there are controls in place, whether the data processing is happening without manual intervention. All of that matter we still have to verify. When I said IT general controls, your IRAC related classification is not IT general controls, sir. I have to clarify that also clearly. Whatever is related to your data, actual data, it does not fall under IT general control. Everything surrounding the particular data is an IT general control. So for example, the loan database related modifications, whether it is whether anybody who can log in can do it, that kind of control is a application related control. It is not an IT general control. IT general control will be saying something like you cannot plug in a USB drive, you cannot connect to the Wi-Fi of the particular network of the particular branch. So those are IT general controls. Your question I would answer as IT general controls are still not under purview of branch auditor, but all the controls related to the data points are definitely part of our purview. And related to IRAC, I will come to that, sir. So we'll take one fresh case study, sir. I'm just reading for everybody's benefit. So So I've introduced certain concepts already in the previous slide. I want everybody to attempt to look at this case study and give me your view. All of you are, I think, practicing chartered accountants mostly. So everybody has an idea about audit of financial statements. This is simple case study on that. So the question is, club has turnover. It is some social club. Turnover of 1.2 crores. There is a software vendor of the club's accounting software. He is gone out of business. There is no support. Then club's functionality. So it is like a food and beverage related they are providing within the club facilities. For ease of the members, instead of doing cash payment every time, they are saying members you can have preloaded some smart card basis. So that smart card, if you swipe when you do the transaction, then that balances will be taken care of by us through our accounting system. So this functionality, all members are allowed, is the functionality provided. Staff members receive funds at cash desker and process card recharge. Due to non-availability of staff, at times accounting staff also involved in cash desk duty. You are asked to perform financial audit of the entity for financial year 23-24.
Sorry.
Sir has pointed out the first problem, segregation of duties. Sir is saying there is a segregation of duty issue. Person normally making the entry of the books should not be involved in cash related activity, which is a classic SOD issue.
Complementary control.
Yes, some other complementary control, some compensatory control should be there is what sir is saying. Anything else strikes us odd about this? So club till now it has been functioning without that system, sir. No card, no member balance, nothing. Every time someone makes payment, you receive cash, you make manual books of accounts. Year end, you do a tally entry or something based on the manual books of account. Then everything is matched at the year end, some reconciliation difference, whatever is done. And then audited financial statements are prepared for the society audit, something like that. This year, this member software is newly introduced. So what is the audit risk for this particular? Sir is saying already SOD issue is there. So you check for some compensating control. Otherwise, what is your audit risk rating, sir?
No, the cashier is supposed to deposit the cash at the end of the day. No?
Yes, sir. All of that happens. Whoever is handling cash, deposit in bank happens every day. Day end, whatever cash receipts are available in the system, that is matched. All of the remaining controls are clear. Only one small cases, some small cases, what happens? Someone is not available. Sir?
Software vendor issue.
Software vendor issue. Sir is flagging one more issue. Software vendor issue. Why is the software vendor issue important, sir?
Suppose there is any issue tomorrow, what is the backup? Plan B.
Okay. Sir is asking you're asking from an availability point of view, sir.
Even if there is any loopholes in the software which has been tagged, we may not know.
So there is another question on what is the integrity of data also. So availability is secondary. Right now, first whatever data we are using, it is a money value. Completely it is member balance money value. So how to ensure the integrity of this data? Software vendor is not available. Code ella editing kudutittu ella implement pannittu he says no sir, this profession is not working for me, I am going. Who will you rely on? You don't know what to do, how to do, nothing. This software has been working for 1 year. And you have to sign off financial statements.
No training, nothing.
Training, that is a different aspect, sir. So, sir has pointed out rightly. So, this engagement, though it seemingly very, very innocuous, and I put the critical facts here because this was actually a problem. This kind of case already came up and there was a fraud that occurred.
But the bank should not have an IT professional who can handle this kind of thing.
Sir, we are doing my case study, sir, not bank. This is a private concern. This is a separate matter, smaller entity. Just to illustrate certain points, I am taking this case study. Bank we will come back to. So everybody is read through, I think. So which element is affected here? So we spoke about certain elements here. IT general controls is there, application software controls is there, some interface related is there, CAA triad is there. Which are the elements affected here actually? Software vendor is not there is one thing, segregation of duties are already pointed out.
Integrity of data.
Integrity of data, very important. So in this particular case, the integrity of data is not ensured. The person is receiving the cash from the member, issuing a proper receipt, computerized receipt is issuing, signing and giving. Member is satisfied, okay, this receipt I am having, he is left. But in actual terms, what has happened is, the server OS which is inside the account, in this particular case, I think it was in the accountant's cabin or something like that. Because it's ultimately one accountant only is there. He is handling all those entries, means typically server system he will be having. Usually what happens, he will only interact with the IT vendor also. He will get the admin access to the software also. Everything will be available mostly with him. So the accountant, what he has slightly done, he has understood that particular system, that OS system, he was able to change the date. The OS was not upgraded. So usually Windows and other OSs, once you upgrade, it will not allow you to change the system date. You cannot change the system date to older date, like that. Just like that, you cannot do those changes. So this particular system OS was not configured to remove that particular problem. So he was automatically able to change the system date. So 1st April 2023, he is issuing a receipt to a particular customer. He is going to issue, posting date is going to be 1/4/23 only. But entry date, he went and changed to some other prior date.
Transaction date.
Transaction date. So usually in banks also you have two dates, no sir? There is a transaction date and there is one posting date, or value date as they call it in certain banks. So based on that gap, this particular accountant, whenever he was on cash duty, he has been able to embezzle that cash. So this is the kind of situation we have practically seen in certain circumstances. And is it possible to affix any responsibility on the accountant, sir? This was not detected by the accountant, auditor, management, nobody. Some members suddenly woke up and said, I recharged 5,000 rupees, it is not there in my account, I am not able to buy tea, coffee, I am not able to eat at the club, he has come and given complaint. Only then they were able to find out this particular issue. So where does the fault lie? Is there a fault here? As an auditor, we come across so many circumstances, so many clients, where we don't, sorry to use this terminology, we don't understand the full implications of that environment. Financial environment, we are 100% comfortable, sir. But as far as this IT environment, or what software they are using, how they are configuring it, all of these matters, we are still a little bit hesitant to take up further discussions with the software vendor or anybody else. Particularly when these kind of customized softwares are coming, when there is only, they will say, this is specialized software, sir, only for this industry they are using this particular software. Rest of totally that software vendor may have 20-30 clients. That kind of situations will be there. There will be so many considerations for using that product. But ultimately, whether our integrity of data is satisfied or not, that is the core question we need to understand. So next I have, yes sir.
Even the evaluation of the
The
software.
last paragraph, this
Yes.
was discovered based on complaint by member for non-recharge of card balance.
Correct.
My point is, this should have been there on the first day itself.
This complaint you cannot ask the members, they have not identified, sir. I understand your question.
It was discovered because of this.
Correct.
But this should have happened in the first day.
This should have happened in the first place. The members have not been vigilant. Probably you would have done smaller 500, 600 initially. Then bulk our 5,000 potara and
To get that, but that it should have been the first day. When I embezzle cash or not recharging your card, automatically the first day itself there is something wrong.
Sir, so sir is raising a point, but this is an actual case, sir. This has actually happened. Because smaller amounts here and there, some members may have made. This is not one member. For all the members, some small amount here and there might have been changed. Not everybody is going to look at all the entire accounts. Like you said, if the member was vigilant, in the first place itself, you would have said, I should have had 5,000 rupees in my card balance. If I am not having 5,000, it's 4,500, there is some problem, immediately this problem would have been solved. But these are circumstances in real life we find all over the place. This is something we have to still deal with, sir.
No, instead of the whole amount, you must have recharged, say, after receiving 10,000 cash,
Right.
you must have recharged 8,000.
So in this case, he issued the full receipt. Receipt was like you are saying, there may be a circumstance. Smaller amounts he would have.
Member could not realize.
So as a fraudster, there are multiple techniques people use.
That is the reason.
Right, sir. So next case study. This is not one of my case studies. This is one very famous fraud that has happened. Can you guess this particular fraud? One of the biggest frauds in the last 2-3 years, sir. Ultimately boils down only to some IT platforms being misused and some collusion also is happening. Maker checker is compromised. But crores of money siphoned.
That is a carbon dioxide emission.
Sir?
Some emission case from the car.
Okay, oh, you are picking up that Volkswagen matter. Okay. That is not what I intend here. This is completely banking industry only. So, sir is saying there was one case in Volkswagen, I think. They were trying to show better emission norms. They sold their cars as green cars. They wanted to show better emission norms. They used their software configured in such a way that for regulator reports, it will show as green car. Combustion emission levels will be reduced in their reports. But actually, there was a problem. But this case study is not that. This is actually the Punjab National Bank scam, sir. PNB were this SWIFT system. So, in the Punjab National Bank related case, you had a in the interest of time, I am going to skip the basic slides, sir. I will go directly into issue. So, SWIFT, it is a IT software. It is an IT platform commonly used amongst bankers across the world, sir. Reason for introducing SWIFT because inter-border transactions, cross-border transactions, it is difficult to understand different banking norms, sir. They wanted to have one unified format for exchange of information between banks. So that was standardized as this particular SWIFT organization gave one particular format. They have given various codes for various transactions. That will be there. For example, so that code number is some MT 760 is there, 767 is there, 768 is there, and so on and so forth. This is a communication protocol between banks. But just like any communication protocol, you cannot treat this. Because since it's a banker's communication protocol, by sending a wrong wrong code to a specific other bank, that bank is going to relay the other bank. Let's say US bank is sending some SWIFT code, some 123 to an Indian bank by mistake. The US bank will not know what is happening. But as an Indian bank, you have received a particular 123 code from US bank. That means you have to act on it immediately. You have to do the transaction for your client based on that SWIFT code. So that is the protocol between the banks. So irrespective of whether the US bank accidentally made that code and transmitted or it was intentional, the Indian bank has to comply with the norms of this particular protocol. Based on message received, they have to comply and they have to issue the loan or the guarantee or whatever to the borrower. So this is how the system was working.
But the code itself is wrong, means the amount might have not been received with Indian bank, no?
Sir, I am coming to that, sir. So these are, so if you look at this item, it talks about guarantee and letter of credit. Two aspects is covered specifically in that code itself. But in the PNB scam, what happened is they were using something called a letter of undertaking, LOU. The RBI gave one separate circular in 2004 where they introduced this LOU concept itself. It is not part of this original guarantee LC. Guarantee LC is older terminology, it has been used for many years. LOU is a newer invention they have introduced. For some purpose or the other, RBI has introduced that letter of undertaking and that is also being operated through the SWIFT system. As you can see, by design, you did not have LOU in the mix. Only your guarantee and LC was there when SWIFT was coined. So when you are introducing new letter of undertaking, it will not have a standard code. So the standard code is 760, 767, 768, so on. So what you do when standard code is not available? Goes into 799, free message that you usually fill in, or even IT returns. If it is not fitting in any of the columns, then you go for others. Like others, this 799 code was used for LOU. This is the real matter. 799 code is actually legitimately used for this purpose because you do not have a specific code for letter of undertaking.
That itself is an inherent risk.
Yes, sir. That is an inherent risk, but it is not understood to that greater extent, because SWIFT is an international platform. He is not going to introduce code just because RBI is giving you one new document. Just like LOU, another document, so you use whatever codes you have is going to be his response. So there is an inherent weakness per se in the system where you are using any other message. But actual problem comes in. So the operation, how it works is, this borrower group is there. They are a diamond trader, I think.
Allahabad Union, Axis,
Right, sir. So he is a diamond merchant. So he wants to import some rough diamond or somewhere from outside the country, process it in India, and then make exports to various his own shops outside country, or export to some other customers. That is what his purpose. He comes to this particular Brady House branch in India, Punjab National Bank, and he says, I need to do this particular transaction. You help me with credit facility. So what happens then? They find out that, okay, if you have LC, BG, that kind of matters, packing credit, let us, I want something in foreign currency, because my payment is going to be in foreign currency. I want something in foreign currency, he is asking the banker. Then once it goes to foreign currency, then you introduce this buyer's credit. There is one facility available where any of the branches outside India, every bank will have branches outside India. So those branches outside India, they are allowed to issue a buyer's credit facility, which is a short-term loan, some 90 days working capital loan, which will be in foreign currency. It will not be denominated in INR. It will be a foreign currency loan, buyer's credit, which will be directly payable to whoever is the overseas supplier of this particular Nirav Modi group. So they negotiated this buyer's credit facility with foreign branches of our own Indian banks. So that is on the right side you see, buyer's credit issuing banks. Allahabad Bank, Union Bank, Axis Bank, SBI and others. These are the banks who actually issued foreign currency loan to the borrower. For getting this foreign currency loan, there is a sanction required. So there is a sanction to be done. So instead of getting a sanction from all of these banks, now this particular borrower, he goes to same Brady House branch, he says, I want to take loan from outside India, this buyer's credit loan I need to take. You are my banker for so many years. You issue a letter of undertaking in favor of me that I will be able to take this particular buyer's credit loan. So foreign branches are going to actually issue the fund-based facility. Our Brady House branch is not issuing any fund-based facility. They are only giving guarantee. And now I am using the guarantee term very loosely. Technically, guarantee is different, letter of comfort is different, letter of undertaking is different. In this place, the Indian branch, this Brady House branch, issued letter of undertaking in favor of the borrower in respect of his buyer's credit loan to be taken in foreign currency. This is the operation, sir. So foreign banker, our own bank only, foreign branches, they are satisfied because another Indian bank is saying, this guy is good. You trust me, if it is invoked, I will repay. Letter of undertaking is there. I am giving you guarantee that he will be repaying the bank. In this Brady House branch, this is a smaller branch. The only thing is, this Brady House branch has SWIFT.
What document they have to give this LOC?
Right. This LOU. So the document for the LOU, ideally, as per the RBI circular, you still have to have a sanction. Entire sanction related procedure, your collateral related matters, all of that has to be done. Only then you have to issue an LOU. That is the requirement as per the RBI circular. But in practice, what has happened is, the manager, assistant manager, whoever concerned, the maker and the checker of this particular SWIFT system in that particular Brady House branch, what they have done together is, they have taken money from the borrower and just like that issued the SWIFT message.
Bribe, you mean?
Yes. They have taken some money from the borrower and just issued the SWIFT message They have not made any entry in the CBS. No, nothing in the CBS is reflected at all. There is no money outflow also. It is a non-fund based facility. There is no money outflow. They have issued the direct SWIFT message to foreign branches, stating that LOU is issued in favor of this borrower. And this has completely escaped attention in the bank's checks. Additionally, this branch was not subjected to audit. That is also there. No concurrent audit, smaller branches, they did not have that particular system in place. SWIFT as a technology, we did not understand the risks of what could go wrong.
No, SWIFT as a technology should have been integrated with the financial accounts.
Sir is coming to the next outcome of this particular fraud. So after this fraud, RBI came out with circulars stating you have to bring all these SWIFT related transactions into CBS. As and when it is happening, you have to take it into CBS. That also got translated to some concurrent audit scope also. So if you are doing a concurrent audit of a branch with SWIFT, then every day SWIFT messages or every week I think, on that periodicity you have to reconcile the SWIFT messages with the CBS. So this kind of, all of this happened because this issue happened. This was one major issue that racked everything. I think the number of crores I missed out to add, but I think everybody should know, one of the biggest scams we've seen. Already as most of our members have pointed out, first thing there was absence of sanction. Sanction should have been there, but sanction was not there. There is pollution at the branch management level. They have gone ahead and issued these SWIFT messages. And another point actually in that case, there was no rotation. Rotation policy was not correctly followed. That branch manager, assistant manager managed to stay on beyond the 3-year period. There is a mandatory transfer to be done for bank officials, which was also not complied. The next one, overexposure to single borrower. Overexposure, it is not identified itself. You keep issuing only SWIFT messages. CBS does not reflect. Financial statements does not reflect this. So where to find out whether the exposure of that particular borrower is over the threshold or not. Then this LOU itself was rolled over. If he had honored all the documents as and when, these might have gone without trace also.
LOU sanctions at the branch level?
LOUs, they did not get sanctions, sir. Sanctioning authority was not branch. But the problem is, they were issuing the SWIFT message without any sanction. Just like that, they were issuing it.
Because but the SWIFT code they have to obtain only after the actual transfer.
Correct. So that's the problem, sir. The problem is, this is non-fund based credit, and nobody is looking at whether SWIFT messages are actually being reconciled with the CBS.
799.
First of all, whether it is genuine or not, we don't know.
What is genuine or not, sir?
Genuine, it's obtained from SWIFT now.
It is not obtaining, sir. SWIFT is just like another portal, sir.
Portal, correct, sir, but the portal has to give you a number for each transaction, correct?
No. Those codes I mentioned, they are formatted. So for sending transfer, you have to use code number 500. Like that, this particular LOU, they were using this 799 code. That is a format only. Under 799, they will say who is the beneficiary, who is the borrower here, and they will transmit the message to the overseas banker. Yes, sir?
But I have done a lot of SWIFT previously when I was abroad. But for each transaction, when we transact in dollars or the respective currency,
correct,
there will be a SWIFT transaction.
Correct.
Then we have to refer to the other person's banker, or when we receive money, we have to refer.
There is no movement of funds itself here, sir.
Non-based.
Non-fund based. This is not fund based. Fund based means if you are sending money, definitely it will be you got detected. This is a non-fund based case. This entire transaction I am talking about. So between
two bank
borrower group and LOU issuing bank, it is completely non-fund based. There is no movement of funds at all. The fund based credit happens only at the foreign bank.
Okay.
IS credit.
Sir?
Higher level of limit like that.
Limit, sir, it is not in CBS itself, sir. This is completely outside CBS, out of syllabus question, this one. Nobody anticipated someone to use SWIFT like that. It's completely outside, what do you say, something we would have imagined, or whoever regulators were also there, they were also caught by surprise because of this one. Despite having so many controls, rotation policy, all of that, this is happening means there's something we are missing. That's what is showing up.
Configuration of LOU is not proper.
More than configuration, the importance that LOU has to the, not LOU, the SWIFT messages has to our financial statement, we have not appreciated completely. The management has not appreciated.
Preventing rather than postmortem. How
Sir?
to do the prevention?
How to do prevention is, we have to understand the complete IT system. What are the list of IT systems itself, we need to understand, sir. When you go into a branch, for us, straightforward branch, no problem. Just you will have your regular CBS will be there. There may be a trade finance module. IRAC, they are having separate module. I'll come to that. I have a slide specifically on that. What are the softwares that you are likely to encounter, which are integrated, which may not be integrated, which you need to look into.
When I say core banking system under the control of head office, somewhere in the specific control.
Right.
The same should be under the control of.
So this one, even if you are auditor at that particular branch, it would be very difficult to detect unless you went into detail and saw what are the list of IT systems you are using. And then what is the risk level of each of these IT systems. SWIFT being international transaction, it does not come under our Indian law also. Indian law books will not state specifically this SWIFT code will mean this so and so and all. It is between the Bankers Federation that the SWIFT platform is working. So even if you are branch auditor for this particular branch, it will be difficult for you to identify this kind of an issue. The only thing is we can try to do is keep our eyes open, sir.
The branch auditor will be prosecuted also.
Luckily, no branch auditor here, sir. There was no branch. This branch was so much under the radar, they did not realize this is a bigger sensitive branch or high risk branch itself. And that is why this fraud went on for multiple years, sir.
What was the quantum of fraud?
Somewhere close to 50,000 crores or something, sir. I am not sure. Someone can Google and get me that number. I forgot. This is one of the biggest frauds, sir, we've seen, and most of it, it's only Indian banks which have got impacted actually. When you look at it, the buyer's credit issuing bank, all of them are Indian banks.
See how actually, the fraud buyer's credit extended without any sanction whatsoever.
Buyer's credit is extended based on the letter of undertaking from Indian bank or from PNB. PNB does not have sanction, it's PNB's problem. Other banks, they have relied on PNB giving them LOU. LOU is giving you guarantee that another bank is saying, okay, he is fine, you give him loan.
Nothing. Even contingent liability, no.
Contingent liability should have been booked, sir. It is not coming into the balance sheet. Because it is a SWIFT message database, sir. It is there in the SWIFT messages, but it has never come to CBS. It was never brought to attention of anybody else. Only branch manager and the other person knew.
On fake LOUs, the funds have been...
Correct. The right word to use is fake LOU, but since SWIFT is involved, we cannot completely say fake LOU because other banker is relied on it through SWIFT.
As a bank was inspected by their own inspectors or whatever it is.
I am not sure about that background, sir. Whether I studied this matter when it was in vogue. I wanted to reproduce so that today's presentation
branch auditors purview SWIFT is available, SWIFT should be done.
As of now, SWIFT very much under purview, sir. Purview meaning what are the messages the branch is receiving, how they are integrating with the CBS, we need to still look into. Your branch related transactions, what is happening, if the SWIFT login is there, then they will definitely ask that there will be a reporting parameter on that itself.
How did the fraud surface ultimately? When?
This fraud surface was this one transfer happened, sir.
Was not repaid.
No, actually there was a transfer happened, sir. Branch personnel got transferred.
Oh.
Those people who were actually doing the activity, they got transferred. The new person raised the question.
Bank to bank reconciliation, how did it happen?
Bank to bank, there is no reconciliation required, sir. What is the reconciliation? You are issuing SWIFT. SWIFT itself is a document. Treat it like a check.
Whatever it is.
The earlier buyer's credit were being repaid out of fresh buyer's credit.
Yes. Of course, that rotation was definitely happening.
Rotation was happening.
So, in the books of all these 5 banks, Punjab National Bank would have featured in the year.
No, Punjab National Bank will not feature, sir. That is a contingent liability. In Punjab National Bank books, it is a contingent liability.
It's a non-fund.
In that particular bank, they will say loan given to so and so borrower group based on security from Indian Bank. From Punjab National Bank.
And they are not supposed to verify the integrity of that.
Integrity, they have received SWIFT message. They will give SWIFT message attachment. I have received SWIFT message from PNB. This is official confirmation that LOU is issued. Nothing else required. You are not expecting a hard copy document from Punjab National Bank on a seal stamp saying that LOU is issued. You are expecting only SWIFT message. That is the intricacy of that SWIFT system, sir. Anyways, I think considering time, I will move on to SWIFT only. SWIFT is the core matter. Second matter is that letter of undertaking. Letter of undertaking, they have abolished after. No more letter of undertaking. Swift under complete monitoring.
Another case was BR case.
Which one, sir?
BR case. Bills received case.
I will discuss that little later, sir. I will skip.
That's another step.
Oh, this is older one.
Okay, we'll move on.
There is one more last case I wanted to show, sir. These are all not to scare you, but to show you what could be there under your branch also. I am not saying this will be the issue with all branches or banks. These are issues which have been identified at a very late stage, and banks have suffered a loss. General public has also lost confidence in the banks with respect to these scams. This is another case, but this is more of what do you say? It is more of it's not a technology related scam, but it is more of what do you say? They choose to give whatever breakup they want for the loans, basically. This is for a cooperative bank, sir. So it was not under that much of regulatory supervision earlier by RBI. For cooperative banks, you had that there will be a cooperative registrar who will be having the jurisdiction control over that particular bank. In addition, RBI will be there. Unlike public sector banks where RBI is the sole controller. So you had dual controlling matter. RBI did oversight role only, and they used to submit usual returns and all. Your loan portfolio matters, all of that, periodic returns to be submitted to RBI, they used to upload and give. So RBI has this norm for single borrower, you should not give loans more than some percentage of total advances of the particular bank. So they subvented it by simply 44 loan accounts, they removed from the submission they gave to RBI. They removed 44 loan accounts. In place of that 44 accounts, some 22,000 fictitious account numbers they added and submitted the data to RBI. Total advances matched. RBI did not do much scrutiny. Being cooperative bank, I don't think it was subject to inspection by RBI also. So this also did not go to RBI. Cooperative bank auditor, whether he could have seen it, may have seen it, that we don't know. But actually this is what has happened.
Registrar of cooperative bank, he may not also be aware.
Registrar of cooperative banks, sir, the challenge is these banks, all of these matters, you have so much data and so much complications and a complexity surrounded. Even RBI may find it difficult to get the data and analyze it at periodic time. That's why they have periodic returns to be filed to them. I don't think maybe a cooperative registrar, due respect and regard to that institution, they may not have had the system or the capability to actually identify this kind of issue. They would have relied on the data as it is. General discrepancy they may have pointed out.
But the main point is how did they obtain 22,000 customer data?
That is totally fictitious, sir. Account numbers were there, people should not have.
KYC was not done.
This is
Preliminary.
yes, sir. Absolutely no KYC, nothing like that. So this is also another
At least
matter.
his intention, basic.
When intention is there, they find ways and means, sir. We are only trying to protect our own set of the records that we have.
Single person is doing, then we can catch.
Everybody is colluding, then there is a bigger problem.
Totally.
Absolutely, sir. Okay, sir. Now that you are done with case studies, blank slide only. I think everybody knows why we have to look at what is IS audit at least. We are not going to do IS audit, but we need to be aware of what kind of issues that could be there in an IS audit if done for our auditing before we certify their financial statements. So at the bare minimum, we need to understand their IT environment and what is the critical application and what kind of risk we are signing on. That has to be evaluated carefully. That is why I am advocating that IS audit should be taken more seriously and these aspects should be covered. So what is IS audit? This is book matter, sir. Right now already I think these case studies would have shown you the complete operations and what are the applications being used, what is the modus operandi, how people are working, whether all of that is in line with protection of the particular data, the organization, prevention from fraud, all of those matters is taken care. IS audit is taken care.
At branch level, what are the IT systems that pose risk to the branch auditors?
We'll come to that, sir. So CBS, everybody is aware already. What are the type of things that are feeding into CBS? ATM switch, credit card system, data warehouse, phone banking, all of that. Everything is feeding into CBS. CBS is our only form of truth. Whatever we are signing off is based on CBS only and nothing else. Even if the actual documentation is correct and CBS data is incorrect, then we have to still say CBS data is incorrect only. Ultimately, we are relying on CBS data for all our audits. This is the actual main picture. What are we certifying on branch audits? First thing, the financial statements, as you were saying, as per the Banking Regulation Act, the framework, they are going to hand over closing returns. Balance sheet will be there, P&L will be there, and main critical aspect, the advance portfolio will be there, and various parameters related to advance classifications will be there, right from NPA, substandard asset related matter, secured, unsecured, your priority, non-priority related matter. So as we all know, the loan audit is the major risk area for our bank audit. So if you are able to crack this particular loan aspect, rest of it, hit or miss also, we will be able to handle. That is the approach we need to look into. But for auditing the loan portfolio, what you need to keep your eyes on. So what are the places we are touching on also? I think sir already mentioned that the LFAR questionnaire has certain questions specifically. So one is on the IRAC module itself. I think yes. This is an extract of the RBI circular, sir, where they have said the bank's IT system should be able to independently calculate. It is a system-driven process. This NPA identification and classification is a completely system-driven process, and all the inputs for identifying NPA as per the RBI norms should be available in that system itself. So if the bank is saying I am doing NPA classification, then you should ask first question, which system are you using, sir? Is CBS giving you an NPA data, or are you migrating entire loan portfolio as on 31/3/2024, moving into a separate IRAC processing module, where you are doing all the analysis and saying this is performing asset, non-performing asset. Second one is usually the norm. So CBS being a huge software, you cannot, it is difficult to do a cutoff as on a specific date and do all the processing and keep it as a static data also. So instead what usually banks will be doing is, from the CBS they will transport all the required fields into a separate IRAC module or an NPA module, whatever they call it. In that particular module, they will do a comprehensive analysis. Various parameters will be there, right from sanction limit, sanction date, review date. You will be having even your documentation dates, when the document has been signed, when the valuation has been given. So all of these matters they are capturing in one IRAC related, or for convenience I will call it NPA software. So in that NPA software they are pushing in all the data and they are doing the classification. That classification is feeding into our final financial statements where NPAs are reported.
Identified.
Yes, NPAs are identified.
Completeness check and all this.
Sir?
Completeness.
Completeness, I'll come to that, sir. So this is the process. RBI is saying this should be the process. So if the bank is saying I'm doing manually, then directly wrong. RBI has already said it should be a system-based process. You should not have manual intervention. If the bank is saying we have changed this, we have changed that, then in LFAR there is a specific question you need to say, where this straight-through processing, this is the other extract of that circular, where they say it should be a straight-through processing. There should be no manual intervention in the identification of NPA. The data transfer should be a straight-through process. You should not have like I will pull it in an Excel sheet and I will change wherever required, then I will re-upload into the NPA software. That is not the approach to be taken.
Is it pull method or push method?
Sir?
It is pull method or push method?
Yes. Direct straight through from the CBS, it should go into the other NPA software. So before that I will add one more item. We were asked that one question was there, no sir, what are the controls we need to look at? at branch level. One possible area where you can look at, most banks are subject to this ICFR reporting also, just like companies. The internal controls over financial reporting, a separate opinion has to be given. And usually central statutory auditors and the bank, they document the full list of controls. What are the controls to be tested by HO level, data center level, zonal level, all of that they will decide. And there will be set of controls which has to be tested at branch level. That list of controls will be made available to branch auditor usually. And we have to actually certify whether these controls are operating in the branch or not. I have taken one key control only here. I am just going to read this because this is very critical. This is for the loan advance related matter. As per loan policy of the bank, proper due diligence is being carried out by the branch of RAMPC. Upon proper due diligence, if loan application is presented, appraisal note is prepared by the branch and same is sent to the appropriate sanctioning authority for its sanction. Once loan is sanctioned, sanction terms, sector code, IV code and other KYC details are entered into LAPS. LAPS here is some, I think, loan automation process system or something. Nothing but loan origination software. Before entering into CBS, to track the proposals and the sanction related parameters, they are using this LAPS.
Loan authorization.
I think, okay, let's not debate on that, sir. We'll move on. Having maker-checker control in place, on submission of the application, LAPS reference is generated and forwarded to head office for approval. On receipt of approval from the appropriate authority, branch officer creates a CIF file. So, like I was saying, this loan automation process, LAPS is a separate system, CBS is a separate system. LAPS will record all the sanction related matters, whether the loan is sanctioned properly or not. Then LAPS reference number has to be linked to our CBS manually. It is not going to push data into CBS directly. You are going to link that number in CBS and create a loan account in the CBS. So what do we test at the branch level, sir, for this particular item?
CAF will be provided by CBS, correct?
CBS, yes, you have to create the CAF number also in CBS only. CAF is a CBS concept only. This loan automation process that will not have CAF. How do you test this, sir?
So vice versa.
Vice versa meaning?
Whatever sanction has been availed and recorded in the CBS.
Okay.
And vice versa.
So how do you get what is the list of sanctions, sir?
That is from the
LAPS. That's exactly what I wanted. So population. First question, whether LAPS covers all loans, we need to ask, sir. Some banks are using only for education loans or housing loans or some matters. They are saying CCOD, we are not using LAPS. We are directly going to CBS only. So whether this LAPS or any other software in this place, whether it is covering all the loans of this particular branch is the first question. If it is covering, then directly you pull all the list of sanctions from this LAPS software, and whether all of these sanctions are only covered in our maker borrower at least. I am not saying entire loan portfolio we cannot check. 50,000 accounts for so many accounts, it may not be possible to check. But at least our large borrowers we are picking for LFAR. Top 5 standard accounts we are picking for LFAR. Those loans that we are actually verifying, full detail verification, related to those loans, whether the sanction is properly accorded in the LAPS. This can be looked into, sir. This is something from a control perspective that will be useful for us also. Because practically when you ask the branch manager to give you a sanction letter, they are sometimes giving Xerox copy, scanned copy, so many X and Y is there. Whether that is actual sanction letter, we actually don't know. I've had instances where I don't know whether the person has given me correct sanction letter or not. Because it is now, it is completely on a soft basis. They are not insisting on full manual signature of the respective committees. The zonal committee or the large loan committee related matters.
But this applies to renewal also, correct?
This applies to renewal also, sir. So, like you are saying, these questions we need to first address to the branch.
The reverse also not possible. Anything recorded in CBS should also be in the LAPS.
This kind of matching work, branch level we cannot do, sir. Branch level, all I am saying is, you have at least list of valid sanctions as per that LAPS system. You already have some samples you are verifying. Say 10 large accounts you are verifying for this particular branch. For those 10 large accounts, whether this LAPS is having the sanction recorded or not, That is the limited checking, I'm saying. This is not foolproof, this is not...
Other way around. Is there a recording of CBS?
If you are doing 100%, other way around only has to be done, sir. All sanctions in CBS, whether LAPS is having a sanction reference, that is the ideal way to do it. For branch audit purpose, for our limited time where we are doing a 10-day or 15-day branch audit, we cannot do 100% checking. However, for the samples we have already picked and we are checking, this LAPS related matter can also be verified. Anyway, this ICFR related reporting also it will be useful. If it is failing there, at least ICFR has to be reported. Whether you want to qualify the report or not, give MOC, that is a different thing. But this ICFR particular control, at least you can say it is not operating properly. This particular lapse reference number is not available for so many loan accounts. Hence, this control is not operating properly. So coming back, this ICFR I discussed. So what kind of issues you will face, sir? That is the major matter.
So anything related to tax, like GST?
GST, I am not. Let's not.
I am just asking.
No, I am talking about issues in handling this loan audit itself, sir. While doing this loan audit at the branch, there are actually practical problems. Lot of problems are there. So first problem being we are not able to understand overall what is our scoping. What is covered at head office level, what the central stat auditor will be looking into overall, what we are required to limitedly look into, what is our scope as far as the controls and the related matters are concerned. So all of this usually you will be having an interaction with the central statutory auditor or the branch management or the zonal office prior to initiation of audit. I would advise if you could raise this particular matter with them. Right on. Usually all these banks have a standard circular. They will mention what are the centralized entries, what kind of controls are taken care at central level itself. So sometimes they will say this NRO or NRE related interest matters, branch only has to take care. It cannot be automated. It's a manual matter. You need to look into at branch level. So there will be certain manual controls that are there. Those critical manual controls will change subject to which branch you are handling, what kind of approach the head office is taking. Second thing is that validation checks we already discussed. We have to identify which are the critical IT and manual controls at zonal level, at that particular branch level. And classic problem, branch manager may not be entirely aware. They will say there is no LAPS. We are not using LAPS at all. So if he is stating that, you ask him to put it on a letterhead, full signature, everything put together. We are not using LAPS at all. Take it as a declaration, qualify ICFR and go ahead. That's the only thing you can do. If he is saying there is no LAPS, there is no system itself we are following. That ICFR report controls that we are signing off on, please read that, sir. At least related to loans, that will be important in our loan advance related matters. Staff ignorance is there, limited access to periodical MIS, exception reports, NPA related difficulty in audit sampling. So most of this I think then and there we have sort of touched upon. So when you look at the loan audit, what is available in the financial statement is nothing but your security wise details for the loan portfolio, standard, substandard assets related matter, loan origination system we've covered, core banking solution, other modules, trade finance 50 we've covered. This is general introduction about CBS. Anybody is aware, anybody is not aware about SOL ID, what is SOL ID, branch ID? Okay. So I spoke about the node, sir, when we started first. I spoke about one node. Node meaning a particular computer or something like that. In a network, you will have one particular identity for that particular node. So in this case, a branch is a particular node in the entire network of the bank, and that particular node is given a particular ID. We call it branch ID, SOL ID, different names it's called. Within the CBS, if you want to access any data, first question the CBS will ask is, what is the SOL ID or branch ID? So that ID code has to be keyed in when you are doing any querying in the CBS.
Branch code?
Yes, branch code. In other words, branch code.
Sir, in FD,
sir?
They are creating through net banking.
FD, sir? Okay, yes.
What does that SOL represent?
Manually also they are issuing.
Branch code. Differentiate the branch code.
Okay.
SOL ID, okay. But
So,
what is it?
Sir is, one second, sir. This, sir is asking what is the good practice. Now FDs, there is an online basis, you having internet banking, so the customer can directly go online without any interaction with branch, create an FD, close the FD, renew FD, whatever it is, online they can do. In addition, manual parallel process is also happening, where there are customers coming into the branch, they are asking for the FD, they are giving manual application, the FD is being issued in the form of an FD receipt, it is being signed off by the branch officials and given. So what is best practice you are asking, sir? What is your question exactly?
Exactly, I recently some fraud is FD's premature close up like that.
Okay. Okay, so ideal thing as an auditor for any company, what we usually do is we'll ask for a SIF-ID report, sir. Even as an auditor for your client, you can ask them to get a SIF-ID report from the branch. SIF-ID report taken from the CBS properly, it will contain list of all accounts available with that particular branch. And with the particular bank itself, other branches also it will include. So that SIF-ID report will contain FDs only in the only in the CBS. If the particular branch manager has issued only a hard copy FD receipt, but he has not made that entry in the CBS itself, your CBS SIF report will reflect that. So I would advise, usually in addition to getting bank confirmation, we are asking clients to get SIF-ID report. Just that particular borrower's SIF-ID has to be given, you ask for a SIF-ID report from the branch. Whatever is available under that report only is actually available. Whether you are having FD receipts or not, that is secondary. I would put it as secondary control. You get a bank confirmation normally from various, for various statutory purposes. Even then, better to get a SIF-ID report, because bank confirmation is ultimately a manual copy only. Branch manager is going to sign, it's a manual signature. So instead, in addition, you get a CBS SIF report that will give you a system-based proof that it is available. So some of the matters as it is, I think, right. So we will do a quick, I will show you a quick dump of data. One loan portfolio that we picked up for one of the banks, sir. I have removed the names and all, but I want to keep this particular document confidential amongst us. Please photographs for that particular document alone, please avoid taking those photographs. We will discuss whatever is available in there, and I will show you how to go. This is one of the banks we went to, and usually we try to get this population file ideally first day, sir. But still try to get it on first day. At least second or third day, if you get the population file, you will have a handle about what is happening at least. Because practically with the hard copies and all of that involved, it is difficult to analyze the data in the hard copy.
So what is the population?
The population of the loan, sir. Loan portfolio.
Loan balance file?
Not loan balance file. Loan balance file will have only the balances. Even account wise, say this is, I will show you exactly. So this is the one. This is the file I'm talking about, sir. This is from their NPA software. So this contains not only SIF account, loan account number details. Account number is there, drawing limit is there. Then you have sanctioned by code. So if it is branch sanction, one code will be there. So zonal office, another code will be there, some definition will be there. Who has sanctioned this particular loan? Then you have review or sanction date, sanction limit is there, security code is there, interest rate, security valuation, what security is provided and what is the valuation of that particular security is also there. Then you have what document has been executed. In that banks, there will be certain forms, right? Standard form names. So D01 is received for this one. There is one F029 which has been received. Then there is an overdue date. You also have the DPN date indicated in this. Demand promise report.
What kind of report will come from all CBS, then core banking?
That's what I'm saying, sir. The CBS, if you want to look at this data in CBS, it will be in almost 15-20 reports, bits and pieces, elsewhere it will be there. But for the purpose of this NPA classification, banks normally, for their MIS purpose or otherwise, they are bringing into one single sheet. They are practically doing it. Either they will call it MIS data or some loan dashboard data, they will be using this particular information. Definitely as a branch manager, as a credit controller, they will be having this information even in Excel. So this one, I think we got a notepad copy or somewhere from their MIS dumper, then we converted, did some Excel transformation and all and prepared this data. So this data is definitely available with every bank, sir. That is the first point we need to understand. They will say a number of things, but this data is definitely available. Whether it is available in CBS, no. Directly this data is not available in CBS. This is from some other MIS data we have pulled. How we are relying on this? We check the balances. CBS data, what is the 31,323 advance balance? What has happened over here? This we checked around 260 crores worth of advances. This is this entire database is there. 260 crores almost came to how many loan accounts? Numbers are small.
You are given access to this, they will give.
No, this is completely private data, so that's why I warned before. This time.
What you got this data
yes.
from the bank?
Yes.
And you will be given access to that, or they will provide in the some sort of external device.
It is extra.
Sir, usually this kind of data, first thing, straightforward manner you may not be able to get. But this data usually the assistant manager or somebody else, they may have access to it as an MIS dump, they will have. That you ideally have to mail across to your email ID. You will not be able to get it on a drive or anything.
On the NPA system.
It may be called NPA system, MIS data, some name they will be having, sir. It is not always called NPA.
How do you ensure that the data which you are getting,
This, how I am getting, because we sat with the people, both
tampered or?
No. This data we pulled out from the system directly, sir. We have directly pulled out using the manager's login. That's how we pulled out this data.
Directly taking.
Directly we have exported this data and taken, and this we have further validated with the CBS data from other reports. CBS loan database is entirely there, where only loan balance will be available. So with that we have validated also to reasonable extent. I think one day there was a difference in this case. For that reconciliation also someone prepared in my team. So this database first we need to obtain. This is definitely available. There will be some MIS data portal where we can get this information. Once we get this information, first as usual we need to validate the information with the CBS dumper, and then we can rely on this directly. Once we have this dump in picture, then directly go for your samples. Sampling also becomes so much easier, sir. Otherwise we are relying entirely on this particular, on the manager itself for the samples. Yes, sir.
Year-end only or throughout the year?
It will be for specific dates they may be available, sir. Closer to 31st March, definitely one data will be there. Exactly 31st March also may not be available.
In the concurrent product, if I want to see in somewhere month first.
You please ask, so how, usually at our level they will not provide directly, sir. You please ask some of your juniors also to ask for some MIS data, advance related data dump, anything is there, some MIS data is there. You ask, usually credit officers are operating using this because they need to know entire database. Without the database, they are not able to call their borrower.
We are also able to access the MIS data.
Right.
Where to get this entire?
You have to explore and see only, sir. There is no other answer I can give. Because each bank will have a different way of doing it. Every year they will change also. They will change their system also. So this data, if you are doing first time audit, you can spend actually half a day. One proper assistant, you give half a day. You make him explore all the screens available in the CBS and related dashboards. Just give him that work alone. Within that, you tell him loan related, anywhere you see anything, you bring to my notice, and then that's how we have to do, sir. There is no other direct opportunity.
Taking 2-3 files and melting that we are.
We were doing that only, sir. Even I was doing the same. CBS report will have almost 10-15 files, sir. Different files you need to refer for the entire population, and then for your samples you need to go to each file, find out whether this valuation is done properly, whether what data is updated in the CBS file for this item and all. So this particular population we came across by accident only. Somehow we got this 1 year. So every year we are using this kind of approach. So next batch we take up, definitely there will be, we have to find out this particular data. but they are definitely having this data. That is the point I want to give to all auditors. Usually there is a normal statement, they keep saying it's not available, sir. It is definitely available. It's only a matter of how to get it from them. That is the only question, sir.
So the ABM, one matter, sir.
Yes.
ABM will be able to provide this on a daily basis.
So I do agree with you. I do agree with you. Like you can pull the data from the.
Yes, sir. So coming back.
We call it a CDC report.
Right.
CDC report.
CBC report.
Even security things also.
We got it.
One loan file, one deposit file. So the entire thing they will be able to provide in Excel format. APM of a respective bank, I am doing computer card account. She is able to provide on a daily basis. Whenever I ask, she will send it in a comment page. In Excel format.
They are giving the back.
Sir, so our just consolidating this particular first thing, you will be given access to the CBS. As an auditor, you will be given a CBS login, and usually most banks they are giving some kind of standard menus also, commonly used menus for querying the system. They are giving some standard menus that also will be useful for any software they are giving. And then the direct querying we can do. This will be on account basis. When you go to CBS, it will be only at account level. You cannot get list of accounts. You cannot do any querying for wherever the sanction limit has expired. That kind of querying will not be there in CBS. However, as other members also rightly pointed out, different names in different banks. Some CDC reports they call, some of them call it some exception reports, branch reports, or within CBS also some people may have some branch reports specifically one sub-module will be there. So there are various means and there is various options available. We need to try to understand and identify. Half day or 3/4 of a day, one person should sit and explore, crawl each screen available to the assistant manager, sir. You will be definitely able to get it. Next is our NPFS module I was talking about. That is directly linked to our financial statement we are signing off. Financial statement is only going to show summarized figures. It is going to say out of 260 crores or 270 crores, secured advance is some 100 crores, unsecured advance 250 crores, 200 crores, odd amount they will say. It will not give you any additional picture at all. But only if you get this entire population term, you will be in a position to say, okay, my samples at least I know the security is correctly classified. In the balance sheet, the final security value is proper. Without the breakup of the entire loan balances, we will be doing an incomplete job in certifying their loan portfolio, sir. That is the matter that needs to be addressed.
So parameter verification we have to do because the segregation of
Yes, sir.
NPA into the respective category.
Could you repeat, sir?
The NPA module, they are doing auto allocation of NPA to the respective.
Right. So what you are saying is, this once you get this dump, it becomes very easy, sir. Actually, getting this dump, if you get this dump properly, it will be 200 columns or something. Once you get this dump, life becomes very easy. Get yourself a person who is very familiar with Excel. Each parameter run through. Once you run through, you will be able to get the complete picture, sir. Because everything, from this data only they are preparing all their schedules. If it is not matching with this, then the entire audit is gone for a toss. Of course, this there may be some date problems. Say 31st March, you may not be able to get that report. So you may do with 30th March, do some procedures to make sure that 30th March is reasonable data for you. So some kind of practical difficulty will be there, but without this population, it is very difficult to do audits right now, because with LFAR changes that have, I think, last 2 years or more than 2 years, I don't know, the LFAR requires you to list the accounts you have audited. How many accounts have been examined? What is the total outstanding of that particular branch? How much coverage you are doing? You are doing maybe 20 accounts, means how much percentage of coverage in terms of advances is available? You have to report that. In addition, top 5 standard advance you have to report. You have to separately report whether they are having this particular not separate module, system-based approach for NPA identification and IRAC classification matters. Whether that system-driven approach has any manual intervention or not. These are all specific questions we need to answer in our LFAR questionnaire. And this will directly have impact on our final result of audit also. So loans matter, as you know, high risk, and if you are able to get all this data and reasonably put together a file, then our audit also is protected, sir. I have seen total population 260 crores. I have taken top 10 accounts only. These 10 accounts, end to end, I have seen the CBS related parameters, all the parameters I have checked with the hard copies. I am satisfied that the loan portfolio is fine. Yes, sir.
You can take some samples even from changing classification from this to this.
Yes, sir. Sampling.
That also will give
Okay.
an indication that it looks proper. Otherwise, a particular instance.
Right.
Take few cases on that also. Moving from one classification.
So, sampling strategy, it is up to you, sir. I think as all of you have combined experience, great combined experience. The only problem is bringing the relevant information to the table. If that is solved, you are having one full dump and you are having a knowledgeable person to help you interact with that data. Sampling is it's a piece of cake, sir. You will just ask your junior to arrange according to loan outstanding and sanction limit. SIF ID based, by SIF ID, what is the highest exposure available? So you are able to easily examine these matters. But data should be available. Once data is available, sampling, piece of cake. That will not be a challenge at all. So general matters I wanted to address finally. These are probably issues that you will definitely encounter. Data statement as per one statement does not agree with other statement. This is what I was talking to you about from the beginning. There is one CBS database, there is one MIS or NPA database separately. There is a financial statement summarized basis you are signing. Ideally, your financial statements that you are signing should match with CBS database and NPA database and any other MIS database that is provided by the branch. If it is not matching, what happens? What do you do, sir? If it is not matching, on the NPA database, there is a figure that is not matching with your financial statement advanced disclosures.
Classification
issue, you have to MOC put on, sir. Even though you don't point out a specific account, the fact that the NPA database report itself is not matching with your final financial statements is a big red flag. And this has happened in the past also. We have had scenarios where this particular Excel database is not completely agreeing. I am not saying only from NPA point of view, even from a security angle. So manually you would have verified the security documents of a particular loan and you would say some 3 crores or 4 crores is the secured value of that particular loan. But in the breakup sheet when you see, for that particular loan they may have updated the original value of security which may be 10 crores. So secured value of that particular advance is mentioned as 10 crores. Whereas as per our verification it is only 4 crores secured value, remaining is unsecured value. So these kind of issues also definitely will crop up. So all of these matters we are trying to do our best possible effort to get whatever data we can from the CBS and proceed further on that. As far as the specifics of what reports you have to take, what you can do from the CBS, it has to be done on case-to-case basis by you independently, sir. I am not sharing any cheat codes or any commands, for the simple reason mine are outdated by almost 1 or 2 years, and banks are upgrading every year. This latest Pinnacle and all, there is definitely a change in the command language itself. The commands what I have are not directly relevant for this year's audit. Or even for my team, I need to explore and only find out what are the commands. But standard, we know what are the requirements. We just need to query and get those data from the system. So final takeaways what I wanted to give you. IS audit, we are not doing IS audit, sir. As far as the bank branch audit is concerned, we are not interested in IS audit at top level. It is taken care by someone. But what cannot be taken care at HO level or head office or the central statutory auditor level, there will be certain items which can only be looked at the branch, by the branch. Say for example, there will be some manual entries. Even in your processing charges, you see that is automated. Processing charges, as soon as your disbursement happens, processing charges is charged. But your inspection related matters, the branch manager has to go to the site, inspect the particular borrower, some inspection charge will be levied. Unit visit, correct. So unit visit, inspection and related matters, that is a manual transaction that the branch manager has to do. So first we need to, with the trial balance of the particular branch, identify which are those items which is taken care by an automated control which is not modifiable by the branch at all. Processing charge, branch cannot do anything. There will be certain controls like your inspection charge, other matters, where only branch has to initiate. Because head office does not know when the branch manager is going for inspection. we need to first have an alignment about what are the automated controls, which are the controls not exercised by the CBS itself, which the branch is given discretion about. So those items we need to identify at trial balance level first.
Branch expenses.
Correct. Even branch expenses, entire branch expense, subject to, of course, they will have a limit maybe. They will have a budget over which you cannot go. But the entire branch expense is entered by the branch management role. So these kind of matters, first we need to understand. Of course, as seniors, everybody knows the branch sanction limit will be there. Branch manager's discretionary limit will be there. So all of that, whether it is coming into this particular population also, you can check. I mentioned that in that Excel file, there is a sanctioned by also, who is sanctioning it, some code will be provided, which will mention actually whether it is a zonal office sanction or it is a higher level sanction or the assistant manager level sanction. Who is doing it, there will be an indication in that sanction code itself. That also you can test. If the branch has sanctioned it, that list you can pull out definitely. And if it is exceeding the discretionary limit of the manager, then that also has to be reported. So all of it boils down to data points only, sir. And you have to definitely spend some time to understand the entire IT environment around your branch. What are the IT systems? What are the entire list of logins, sir? So ideal approach, first day approach is you ask the assistant manager or whoever to show you every login that he is using, except maybe his employee related leave balance or some other login. Every login he is having, you ask him to log in and show it in front of you. From there you take it forward. Yes, sir. Okay. Sir, you have any questions?
So the IS audit, what is your final outcome? What will you certify?
Right. Very good question, sir. IS audit is not a challenge. Right. Your slide on the IS audit considerations. Right. This is the slide I missed. So when you go in as an IS auditor, you will have to first identify the risk, sir. There will be a risk assessment process. First, you have to identify the environment, of course, the entire organization structure and their IT framework. All of that has to be understood first. After that, you go and do a risk assessment approach. What are the high risk areas for this particular bank? High risk meaning at a IT application level. Maybe CBS will be one of the high risk items on that list of applications. Then you will have something like a SWIFT to be another high risk item. Maybe your employee related HR modules may be a little lower risk. So you will do a risk identification and risk assessment of the particular entire organization. This is general approach I am saying. Even for bank it will hold good, for any other organization it will hold good. Once you have that risk assessment in place, then you go for controls. What are the controls that the bank already has? Whether those controls are adequate to cover the risk you have identified. Controls mapping to respective risk. So now you have a list of controls, that controls which is already available by the organization, whether that is adequately addressing each risk that you have identified. If there is a gap, say one particular risk is not mapped to any control, then that becomes your gap. And once you go into this is desk level, sir, I am saying. All of this is desk level only. After that only the actual matters will come into picture. Then you need to break down the risks into information security related matters, the technical related BAPT and network related controls and system related controls, where as a financial person we may not have full picture. Those items we need to separately scope so that can be taken up by a specialist team. Frankly and practically it is not possible for only a person who's done a CA and a CISA to take up a full IS audit and complete it without any additional support. Because these are all, there are a lot of technological matters involved, and you will definitely need to take support from a technical team. Some trained experts on computers and information security, not even information security. As an IT person, there will be a lot of support you will need to take for how the networks are configured, and even to understand their infrastructure, you will need some assistance to look at it. So conceptually, I will be able to give you some framework, but actual hands-on matters where the actual VAPT is done, or where your configuration review meaning your operating system related parameters will be there. There will be a control testing for each OS type. So bigger organizations, they have a specific checklist for each operating system. Say your Windows XP will have a separate set of controls to be tested, separate set of parameters to be checked. Or your 2003 OS servers will be a different matter. So all of these are very, very technical matters. So technical matters, if we scope aside and keep it separate, with that outcome we need to definitely check. But as it is, the overall picture is what is the risk for this particular organization, what are the controls we are already having, whether these risks are clearly addressed. If it is not addressed, what would be a compensatory control would be a report.
And data capturing also, some basic data the system is not capturing, that also we can suggest.
From an operational point of view. From an operational point of view, definitely, when you actually, it is like you are trying to follow the path of data through the entire organization.
For the business.
So when you do that, obviously there will be some insights that you get that may be useful to management also. Even though that is primarily for an efficiency angle, we are not looking at it for a bank or any other matter. Then an efficiency angle also, there will be certain matters we can add on.
One more bank branch level is Basel
norms.
Whether it comes under.
For the branch, I don't think there is any matter on the capital adequacy that needs to be checked. Correct me if I am wrong though.
Basel reports for branch level.
To my understanding, there were no capital adequacy related matters for branch level. Correct, sir.
Comes under any of the systems.
For the branch, there is no matter on that. That is not handled at the branch level at all.
Outside the system.
No. This is I am just saying it is outside the branch, sir. Whether it is within CBS or not, I am not aware. To be frank.
Branch level. Basel capital adequacy norms.
Anybody can add something, sir, because to my understanding, the capital adequacy norms aspect.
Capital adequacy will not have anything to do with the branch audit. Capital adequacy is an area where there are branches which are deposit centric. Correct. Some of them are advances centric. So the capital adequacy cannot be kind of uniformly organized for all the branches. So everything is controlled only at the central office or head office or whatever it is.
That was also my understanding. Thank you for putting it in better words, sir. Right, sir, any other questions? I primarily wanted to give you a heads up based on the case studies, give you what are the components of the IS system, spoke about IT general controls, spoke about application specific controls, we spoke about the interfaces between different systems, and we spoke about the CIA triad. This is that picture alone, if you remember, for any of your audits, it will be of huge help to understand a little bit more. Of course, this risk is there. We are sitting on this risk for every audit. Whether that risk will materialize into a problem for us, that we don't know. It is already an audit risk. If that is being used and exploited by some perpetrator, then it becomes a huge problem for us.
Look at the inventory of the systems at branch level to understand what are this may be posing.
Right, sir. Yes, of course. That's what I was also mentioning. First question is, what are the list of login IDs, what are the list of systems that the branch is having access to, and what is the purpose of these logins also. In each URL, you just need to try to crawl through every page. There will be some corner for MIS, some corner from loan dashboard, there will be some matters that give you more information. Ultimately, you link to CBS, it will make more sense.
Batch management all done by control office.
Everything is done by HO only, sir. Branch will not have any control over this. That's why we don't look at the IT general controls at all at branch. You look directly into application controls.
The high level loans and FDs and all these interest rates at the discretion of the branch possible.
That we can look into in exception reports, sir. There will be specific exception reports. Like the exception reports, there are n number of exception reports configured by the branch at HO level already. you will definitely have one of these names, CDC report, some other reports. Within that, there will be definitely FD interest related exception reports.
Interest table they will touch.
Interest table also, sir. So interest rate which is not as per the policy, there will be some list of reports in that. Special interest rate, or in special interest rate you will mostly see staff related loans where higher interest rate is given. Something like that will be provided. So subject to that, as it is, exception reports will cover the entire picture. I think we are at the last slide, sir. I was actually planning for a longer session, little more PPTs were there, but because of delayed start, I wanted to at least make sure that Excel file is properly shown to you and the implication of Excel file is clearly mentioned to you. That much I tried to restrict.
What out of that we have done any analysis of it?
Yes, sir. We have completely analyzed that loan dashboard file, matched it with our financial statement disclosures. Sir?
Considered all that. What are the attributes?
Okay, you want to look at what attributes are considered? Yes, yes.
What type of analytics you have done?
So, sir, just only
Yes,
small question. Certain loans have been opened through online.
Right.
But which we don't have any access to see that.
Okay.
How do we ensure that to get into this?
Okay, so first question, whether this loan is part of your branch TV, sir. That is the first question to be answered.
Okay.
Usually in these kind of circumstances, I have not seen any of the loans being in branch trial balance. Most of the online generated ones, it will not be linked to the branch itself. Either they will be going to some other trial balance or there will be some other controlling mechanism. If it is in your branch trial balance and in your loan list, then you have to definitely call for the documents, and if they are saying no documents, then you have to qualify soon. Because as long as it is coming under our signing requirement, we need to address. If it is not there, then it's not a botheration. To my understanding, most of these are not part of the branch trial balance. So sir was asking some of the parameters we looked into. Security value is one main parameter. 1 second, there will be some pivot and how they would have put. So this is just type of loans, sir. Fully that entire database was some term loans were there. OCC major item is coming to SSI medium term loans only. Some 72 crores out of 260 crores entirely medium term loans. For medium term loans, if you look at, you will have the installment value, number of installments total, and overdue data also will be available. 1 second. There is an overdue date available. I think this was dated March 2022. So some items with overdue date in 2021 at the you see there are some TODs, some ODSB, no frill account, certain nature of accounts. But when you look at the data points inside that, outstanding balance nil irukkum. So there will be anomalies inside this, sir. Outstanding balance irukra accounts paathukonum neenga avladha. There will definitely be some anomalies. Outstanding balance irukra account paathukurom, then SIF wise we can do a reporting. So whether first question usually on large borrowers is whether all accounts of that particular large borrower are classified in the same SIF number or not. That question we can address only by getting the full list of accounts and the SIF numbers, and probably with the name search also we can do. SIF wise NPA check. So in this, whether all facilities of each SIF ID is classified as standard or substandard, we are checking. If one account is taken to NPA, our remaining accounts automatically have to be taken to NPA. This is a system-based configuration only. So this may not require much of checking, even though we checked it. Restructured account. Sorry, I think this one I missed out. So restructured accounts, everybody will be having some nature of restructured accounts or not, sir. With the COVID and so many relief measures, definitely restructured accounts are in place. When it comes to restructured accounts, there is actually a lot of problems at operation level, at the branch level. They are not recording the correct restructured date or the restructuring sanction properly, and ultimately they are stating it is restructured, but the reports do not show as restructured at all. So you will have to correlate your loan dashboard, what you are having, with the restructured data. There is one more disclosure in the financial statement also. The financial statements, annual closing returns you are signing off on. Just like loans, one disclosure is there. There is another disclosure on restructured loans. So opening balance, how many restructured loans were available. Current year, how many has been restructured. How many accounts have been upgraded from restructured accounts. And what is the closing balance. That statement will also be available. So restructured loans, one specific analysis you will need to look into. Because most of the restructuring that they claim to have been done does not have an appropriate sanction letter. So restructuring itself, some set of samples can be pulled and looked into. I think I'm already out of time.
All the revised conditions. Otherwise, again it will become an NPA.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're right. Restructured account, actually already there is some stress, there is some problem already with it. That's why it's going under restructured itself. We have to make sure that restructured account is accorded a proper sanction when the restructuring actually happens.
Sir, in IS Audit, unintended emails, every branch will have an email ID. Sometimes they allow us to send any email through that from us, for us.
Okay, you are trying to test the spam control, sir. Inbound emails, outbound emails.
Inbound emails, or 800 inbox. Whether they have attended or not attended, are they supposed to clear it every day? Then should we comment on it or not?
So this is completely IS policy, IS security policy. First, sir. I don't know what kind of organization you are talking about. It's the bank.
I'm talking about bank branch. Sometimes they ask us to send email. With the email in the ID sending right. 800, 900 emails.
Okay.
Zonal office line regional office line but so should we take this as a point?
Sir, their email communication is not of anything for us, sir, ultimately. If they are giving you access, I would say you data use whatever data you have already got, you move that email will be useful. If they are sending any MIS data periodic basis, that may be available in that email. You take it as data inputs. I don't think there is anything to comment on.
I think we can.
Sir, in the case of concurrent audit, the concurrent auditor is responsible for the functioning of the branch.
Right.
So with respect to these mails, inward mails into the branch as well as outgoing mails, whatever, the various mails, to what extent action is being taken on those mails at the branch level, whether the concurrent auditor has to give a report on the mails that is being received by the branch.
Look, what kind of, I don't understand the context, sir, because concurrent audit is a scope, sir. Clear-cut scope is available. What you have to check, what you have to not check. What you have to check, that's 1,000 items. You email check requirement.
In the day before yesterday, the concurrent, there is a program on concurrent audit.
Right.
That they mentioned, from the time the branch opens its doors on the working day, till the closure of that, the concurrent auditor is supposed to be responsible for the entire functioning of the branch and has to give a report. See, this is what we have been told at the...
Yes, sir, I think you will have to consult with your scope only. The scope is nowhere in any of the concurrent audit scopes.
I can say that your responsibility is unlimited for a concurrent audit. That was your
question was based on an IS auditor.
That's why you are asking from an IS audit perspective, right? From an IS audit perspective, then you are testing for firewall controls. There will be some email filtering related settings needs to be checked. Whether spam is being received by the staff or not, you need to check. That is a different aspect altogether. That is definitely under an IS audit that has to be covered. But that again, as you are saying, it will be configured first. What is the list of items that is prohibited? That will be configured in their email filtering system. So that when you take the email filtering system parameters, that you will understand. You can hard check it by sending emails. Right, sir. I think I will close the session. Thank you so much for the patient hearing, sir. Thank you.